again, it's not on the phone. Jules has come into the studio.
I'm sitting right opposite you.
You're sat right opposite me. I know. It's only the second time ever this has happened, and you've been doing this on my show for what, 3 years? 2, 3 years?
I think it's about 2.5 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
time has flown. Now, of course, when food is brought into the building, there becomes an audience. So in the studio right now, we have Nick, who is, of course, Jules' husband. We have producer Stuart. We have producer Will, all ready and waiting to try this delicious recipe. Now, you come on every week and you give us a really delicious recipe that is usually under £10 for 4 people. I mean, that's really needed at the moment, obviously, with the cost of living and everything. But you've kind of come outside your box a little bit because you've done a dessert this week, and you don't normally do desserts.
No, I don't normally do desserts because I don't have a sweet tooth. But you did ask me a few months ago. You said, could I do a dessert? And I said I would do Angel Delight.
Who doesn't love an Angel Delight, though,
exactly.
to be fair?
But I thought, it's the summer, I will bring you in something sweet to eat.
Well, we've seen it already, and I must say it looks incredible. I'd love to know where you get your strawberries from, because they are like the best looking strawberries ever.
Well, there's going to be lots of money saving things with this, because these are just supermarket strawberries.
Okay.
But I sprinkle them with sugar and I leave them for a couple of hours, and that's called macerating. So it brings out, it's why when you look at the strawberries, they're super glossy.
They are, yeah.
They're really red. It brings out the sweetness and the sugar works its way in.
Ah, yeah, they look really shiny. And they did in your picture that you sent earlier. All right, so if anyone wants to have a go at making this strawberry pavlova with a twist, which we learned during that song, because I did notice something within the pavlova that I managed to guess what it was as well, which surprised me. So over to you then, Jules. Tell us what we need to do. Okay,
so you're going to need to buy 350 grams of strawberries. You'll need a couple of tablespoons of caster sugar, 3 egg whites, 125 grams of icing sugar, 200 ml of double cream, and 3 to 4 tablespoons of either passion fruit curd or lemon curd.
Delicious.
So the first thing you're going to do is put the strawberries in a bowl, sprinkle them with the caster sugar, and set those aside to macerate, because that will then release some juice which you can pour over the top at the end. Next, you want to preheat your oven to 140 degrees fan. Line a baking sheet with either a silicone sheet or baking parchment. Now this is a really quick way of doing meringue. Instead of slowly adding sugar, you're going to put the icing sugar and the egg whites into the bowl of a stand mixer or using a hand whisk, and you whisk the whole lot together until it forms really stiff peaks. Then to make the pavlova base, you want to spread a circle using about 1/3 of the egg mixture, probably about the size of a side plate, and then use the rest of the egg whites to spoon on to make your edge all the way around. There are pictures on the website with the recipe,
of course,
because my verbal description may not be up to much. And then you just pop it in the oven for 50 minutes. Turn the oven off when it's finished and leave it in the oven with the door closed until completely cool.
Ah, so is that the key to getting the chewy inside? Because I can never ever get a chewy inside. I'm rubbish at it.
I don't know how to answer that, because I wanted to call this a foolproof meringue recipe, but I tried to be clever on Sunday. I don't know if you saw.
I did see your video.
My disaster. I tried to double the size of the meringue for all of you, and I didn't cook it for long enough. Sometimes it should be quite soft and chewy inside, but please don't quote me on that. So once your meringue is nice and cold, spread over your curd. Then pop on the whipped cream that you'll whip with just a little bit of icing sugar if you want, and then finish with the strawberries and any juices that have accumulated in the bottom.
Wow, we've got a bit to try. So producer Stuart's in the studio, Will's in the studio, as I mentioned earlier.
Salivating.
We are all sat around.
We're not the only ones. Even people who have nothing to do with this show are lingering around in the hall.
Yeah, the car park guy has just come in. So, okay, I mean, this is going to be a first because it's a strawberry pavlova and it has got that extra zhuzh that you've put in the middle. What was it again?
Passion fruit curd.
Curd, that was it, passion fruit curd.
Well, because to actually, a traditional pavlova normally has fresh passion fruit that's scraped over the top, but fresh passion fruits are expensive.
Yeah, they are.
So this is a way of giving you that passion fruit zing
That looks delicious, doesn't it?
Go for it. Go on.
Right. If I put this. Oh!
What have you just done?
Just dropped it.
My spoon all over me and the desk. Never mind. Not the mixing desk, by the way, engineers. It's all right. It's not touched the desk.
I told you should wear that bib that I got you.
All right. I've picked it back up now, so let's try it.
Desk.
Will,
Yeah.
try opening your mouth when you put it in.
Thanks.
Oh.
As well as trying to take it.
incredible.
And the strawberries are just so lovely and softened rather
Putting
than
the
just
sugar
putting
on, yeah, it makes a massive difference,
massive
doesn't it?
difference. Yeah.
Oh, that really does.
Jules,
Wow.
this should be a crime.
I mean, it feels really naughty, doesn't it?
It does. It is actually. Now, I've said that this recipe, in fact, I might change it when I get home because I've said it serves 4 people. It would be 4 unbelievably greedy people.
Well,
Jules, don't
She
change
said,
anything
looking
about
around.
this recipe.
yeah, you're in the right place, Jules. Don't worry.
Because there is still half left in the fridge.
Wow.
So I would say it would comfortably feed
Well, I don't know.
6 people.
Do we have anybody guarding the fridge?
I was going to say, don't
It's
say
gone
that
out
out
loud.
loud.
By the time we get out there, it's gone.
Yeah.
Wow. All I can say is, anyone listening right now, if you like a pavlova generally, try this.
That's
It is just absolutely, just like your chicken that you did, coronation chicken.
Yes, you
like
love
you,
that.
you zhuzh things up in
do.
such a way that it just makes it like 20% better than you possibly could imagine.
Because I'm like you, I don't really have that much of a sweet tooth, so I like the odd dessert. But this is a bit sort of. It's the kind of thing I look at and think, oh, that's not for me. It's going to be a bit. But actually, that is really delicious, and
Thank you.
it's got that nice mixture of textures. Goes really soft on top, and then got a bit of crunch to it.
And because you've done that sugar thing with the strawberries, they seem juicier.
Yeah,
Really
they
nice,
really
yeah.
juicy.
I know.
I mean, I
Wow.
don't know what. I've definitely got a sweet tooth.
Yeah,
I don't know what you lot are on about.
Will's is basically gone already. Is meringue the thing that you do in a bowl and then you can
Yes.
pop over your head?
Yes. So
If
that's
you've done it right, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
You just and the important thing when you put the egg whites in the bowl, it has to be spotlessly clean. If there is any fat residue in the bowl, they won't whisk, which is why you have to be really careful when you get your egg whites. If you get the slightest bit of yolk, they won't mix.
Right, I see.
They won't whisk.
It stops it going together.
So spotlessly clean bowl for
How much
whisking.
was this to make?
£4.56.
Is that all?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
That's really cheap. And like
It's
you say, that would be 6 people easily
Easily
for a
6
dessert,
people.
a decent size.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone wants the recipe, of course, Jules always puts them for free on her website for any of our listeners. So if you want to go and find this one among the other 350 that are up there that Jules has done on the show or thereabouts, where do people need to go, Jules?
TheSecretSupperSociety.com.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for trekking all this way from Bicester.
It's my pleasure.
It's certainly our pleasure.
So yummy.
We will speak to you next week, Jules. Thanks
No,
for
you
coming in.
won't.
Oh, you're not in next week, are you?
Or the week after.
No, you got 2 weeks
Oh.
off.
Yeah.
What are we going
What
to
are
do?
you going to eat?
Oh, what? Right, Stuart, straight over to the takeaway.